Whose dominion are we under? Now, this is going to be a topic that is going to be over so many of your heads. So, if you do not comprehend what it is that I'm about to say right now, you can just move on, or I just have to say that this particular conversation is not for you. And at this particular time, I need you to open up your eyes. For of a truth, you do not understand or know the world that you are living in. You don't even comprehend the kingdom that you are under, why you are under it, and how we became subject to this kingdom, to this earthly kingdom that we are in. And I just want to remind you of something that Yeshua had said. He said, be in the world, but not of the world. That is a heavy saying, okay? So that is making a difference between two worlds or two types of worlds, or maybe two types of earthly planes. Now, you don't know the difference in the world of the flesh and who has been set over the world kingdom of people of the flesh and of blood and of bone. Now, did you know that Adamah and Hawa were created? When they were created, they were not created of flesh and blood. They were created in a celestial, eternal body, made into a living soul without blood and flesh, nor did they have to defecate or urinate. Their body did not expel waste. Now, it was only after that they ate the forbidden fruit that they were transformed and that they were changed and their bodies were modified into a sinful fleshly body of death, hell, and the grave. And then they became subject to the great test of life and troubles in a sinful, seductive, deceitful world. And troubles, I mean, many troubles came upon them. Now, the same evil world that they end up having to go into and being forced out into is the same world that we live in today. And this kingdom is the kingdom of Lucifer. This is his domain, okay? So when they became rebellious, they got kicked out into his domain, okay? Not only did they get kicked out into his domain, but they lost their celestial body and they became transformed into a sinful flesh, okay? This sinful flesh, this flesh right here is a flesh that is tempted with all sorts of evil, okay? So we are down here with Lucifer and all the demons or the Gogori that are called watchers. We down here with all of them, those fallen ones who led men into all sorts of sin with a rotten, wicked selves. And then we down here with Satan's villainous seed, his villainous children that don't care for none of us. And they don't even care for the earth, okay? They don't have no care at all for the earth at all. And they want to make sure that they tear it up, to help us to suffer. Now, Lucifer's rotten children walking around here looking like you and I, wearing suits and crowns and all these other types of things, are like unto whitewashed tombs. They are full of dead men's bones who appear clean on the outside, but inwardly his children are like ravenous wolves, and they too are seeking whom they have they can devour just like their father. They are evil supporters. They're a bunch of hypocrites, and they're full of all kinds of iniquities, and they're training us and indoctrinating us to be just as evil and wicked as they are. And they are filled with all uncleanliness, and they are drinkers of humans' blood and the blood of the innocent. And these evil children of Satan, his seed, they are worthy of death. Now, so what does that mean? That the world that we're in, this dimension of the earth that we are in, honey, this is not a good world. This is a world that is created full of evil and that is corruptible. This is a corrupted world. This is a world that is a prison for the sinful flesh. And this is Lucifer's prison. And this is his gang's prison, the gang who is called Gogori. And honey, in this plane, old Lucifer is the old wicked warden of this here earthly prison right now that we're in until we can get out of this one, get out of this mess. So it was after they ate, after who ate? After Hawa and Adam ate the forbidden fruit that they were transformed. Their whole body was transformed. It was changed into a simple fleshly body of flesh and blood that contained life for them to be able to live in this world that was created for sinners living in the flesh. Okay, so their bodies had to be changed to live in this particular environment, because this particular environment that we are living in was different from the environment in paradise. Completely different, because in paradise they didn't need any blood. They didn't need blood to try to get the oxygen out of the air or whatever, you know what I'm saying, in order for them to live. They didn't need all that. So they didn't have any blood. They didn't have anything that would rot and die while they were in paradise. Now the fleshly body that we have and the fleshly body that they were changed to is a mortal body that is not an eternal body. For the fleshly body that we have does not live forever. It decomposes, it rots, and it turns into maggots and worms, and it returns to the dirt. One way or another, it goes the way of the earth, then it goes to its place of stay. And where is the place of stay? The place of stay is what is called hell. Okay? So they are held. Once you die, you're held by the gates of the prince of Hades and Sheol. I know a lot of you don't believe in that. If you don't, just pass this little old video by. Now, Hades and Sheol is a prison for those in sinful flesh who are born in a sinful body. Now, the sinful body of flesh is a prison. The world of our father Adam that he was kicked out of and into this prison under Lucifer's jurisdiction. Now I'm going to say that again. The world that our father Adam was kicked out into is the prison of Lucifer and under Lucifer's jurisdiction. And it's Lucifer's prison too, because he's stuck here with us right now. Okay. So, and he's angry about that. He is really angry about that. So, you know, he ain't got no love for us. And none of the rest of them ain't got no love for us. And his children sure ain't got no love for us at all. So Adama and Hawa called Eve, and they called her Eve because they said that she was evil. You know what I'm saying? They were talking about it like folk talk about women today. They said she was evil, and they were mad at her, trying to blame her for Adam eating the fruit that he was told not to. Now, so Adam and Hawa, called Eve, got kicked out of paradise, for it was a place for immortals of pure nature and who were of the celestial body type. So they were not naked in the garden, honey, but they were clothed in beauty, and they were clothed in glory, and they had beautiful bodies. Okay, they were not naked, but when they sinned, their body was transformed. It had to be transformed into a earthly flesh with blood, and they were naked. Before that time, they had a different body and they were not naked. Okay, but their glorified body was changed. Okay, they had to be kicked out of where they were in a pure uh, place, a pure habitat, into this mess that we are in right now. And they had to be able to have their bodies transformed to be able to deal with this atmosphere, dealing with cold and heat and water and all these different types of things that they did not have in the Garden of Eden. So their bodies were prepared for a body that was of a sin nature, a different body type. So when they were kicked out, to prevent them from entering into the Garden of Eden before 5,500 years were passed, two Malachim, two angels, two servants of the Most High were placed at the Garden of Eden, aka the Garden of Yah, at the entrance with flaming swords to make sure to keep them out. Because if those angels was not there with those swords, honey, Adam would have been trying to get back into Eden with his contaminated self, with his corruptible self, meaning that he was in the body of corruption. Anything with blood in it is a body of corruption. That means that that body is going to decompose when it dies, and it's going to rot and return back to the earth, turn into maggots, and ain't no telling what other type of varmint that your body would decompose into. Now this garden was their place of paradise. I can only imagine how wonderful it was, honey, when I look at how terrible this place has become. Now, concerning us rebellious Negroes, that's what I said. The Creator had built a hedge around us, who are the children of the book, to protect us from the evil kingdom of the prince of darkness and death, who is Lucifer and his crew. But when we disobeyed the Most High's laws and his rules, the Creator, he removed his hedge from around us, that we became completely exposed and under subjection to this evil kingdom ran by Lucifer and his agents and his evil children, his evil seed that hate all of us. Okay, they don't like us at all. They ain't got no feelings for an old man or a young man or a little baby or whatever, or infant, honey. They can just rip them apart. They don't care nothing about you. Lucifer's administrators, who are the administrators of government, those who rule, who work for him, they don't care nothing about you. No, 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 no. They are, uh, their plan is to tear this earth up and tear you up with it. Okay. So flesh and blood needed a different earthly habitat to survive in, a different atmosphere to be made subject under. So they had to be kicked out of that pure place of peace and eternity and serenity with everything perfect, everything that they needed. And they didn't have to work hard for, and they didn't have to sweat at all, and they didn't have to work hard for nothing until they ate the fruit. Okay. And they had to work from the sweat of their brow, and it fell upon us. Now, and the task in this prison of a earthly world that we are in and under, the task in this prison with Lucifer and his crew is to overcome the evils of this devilish system, of the devilish agents of Lucifer, who also, his children, look like one of you or I, of every shade of skin color, every shade, every shade. And you are looking at some of their seeds, and you can't even tell. You don't even know what you're dealing with. You don't even know what world you living in, what prison we are under, and this old no good warden that we got. Now, your leaders, your politicians, your aristocracy, your oligarchy, who paid for the high priest office, who were the scribes and the Pharisees, who took over the courts of our elders, of our people, who wrote wickedness and ascribed it to appear as if it came from the hand of Yah, turning many into the children of hell by their evil man-made laws and traditions of men, turning the world inside out and upside down. And look what they teach us. Look what they're teaching our children in the schools. Look what they're teaching our children in the movies. And look what they're teaching our children on the internet. And look what we're teaching our children as we are learning from our enemies and regurgitating their bullcrap and planting these seeds with our words, because words are spirit and they are alive. And when we speak the spirit of these words, they enter the body, and they go through the recesses of the soul, the mind, and the body, and they begin to grow. And you wondering why your kids, and you wondering why we grown folk and is acting a fool like we are, because we getting the wrong fruit. We're being fed the wrong seeds, okay? Seeds of corruption, seeds of wickedness that's planted with the words of our mouth. Now, we're dealing with evil folk full of blasphemy, who have taught us blasphemy. They teach us rebellion. They teach us all manners of evil. They teach us how to call on all manners of demons, and we can't even figure it out. Now, do you know and remember that demons manifest within and outside of the body. Now, sadly, you do not know who is the prince of death and of hell and of the grave, but you better learn. Now, Lucifer is the prince of this evil kingdom over flesh to trouble us, to chastise us, to steal from us, to kill us, and to destroy us in hopes that he may lead all of us into the flames of hell with him when he is casted into the lake of fire, because he wants us to follow him. Okay. Now he hates us so bad, who the creator created, who was a kind creator, who allowed his Malachim, after all the Most High did, to allow the Malachim to say, come on, come with me and you can help me create man. Now, after all that kindness, to be able to take part in our creation, then this thing just gets so angry and jealous. And the Malachim said, what is man that thou art mindful of him, them, and the Son of Man, that you visit him and you have crowned him with glory and honor. Then he was jealous about that. And because of Lucifer's jealousy, all that jealousy that was born in Lucifer, here we are, because he thinks very foolishly that he can take this kingdom, that he can beat the Most High, or maybe he knows he can't beat him. But since he knows that where he's going, he wants to take every one of us with him, because he knows that his time is coming. Okay? So if you a devil and you trying to trick and deceive somebody, do you think that he gonna tell you the truth? Oh no, oh no, oh no, he don't like you like that. You might think he like you like that, but honey, he don't even care nothing about you. Now, you do not comprehend why the flesh is called the body of death, nor do you comprehend why Yeshua came to free you from the body of death, hell, and the grave at his return. And my people, Yeshua HaMashiach, the salvation of Yah, has not returned on earth for the second time. He hasn't returned. So all those little false prophets talking about they done returned as the Messiah, all those false prophets talking about they are the reincarnation of this one and that one. Honey, don't believe that mess. When the ancients shall return, they shall return as themselves. They don't need to reincarnate in nothing. But anyway, let me go on. So the true Messiah is not here yet. And he sure ain't that fake Yanuka Rev Shalomo Yahada, the one that they say is such a genius. It ain't him. Nor the so-called fake Menachem Mendel Chabad of the Lubavitchers movement, and I might not pronounce that correctly, or any of the fake Messiah, the synagogue of Satan, or the papacy want to present to you at this time in history. None of them. It ain't none of them. Okay. And they got so many tricks up their sleeves and up in their hands to deceive you as we speak. And inasmuch as they was trying to venerate this Rav Shalomo hotter. Once it got hot and the word was going around that they were trying to make this man a god, they ran around real quick trying to deny, oh, no, 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 no. This Spanish group or whatever was telling false news that we were saying that Rav Shalomo was the Messiah. Child, please. You can't listen to nothing them people say. They was trying to promote his little self as the Messiah. Anyway, do not fall for any false messiahs, any false Christ. Now, let me move on. Now, do you know that Adam and Eve were kicked out of the world that was without sin and death? Okay. They were kicked out of the world that was without sinful flesh and blood. They did not need life that came from blood, oxygenated blood. They didn't need that. When the Father breathed into their nostrils, they became a living soul without blood. They did not need life that came from blood. So, with that being said, whose kingdom are you under now? And whose kingdom you need to fight against and resist? Mm-hmm. It is this kingdom of Lucifer that we are in, that we are to free ourselves from, and to not only fight against his kingdom outside of us, but we are to fight against the evil carnal nature of our own body and mind. For our biggest enemy is ourselves. Mm-hmm. Our biggest enemy is our own flesh and the thoughts that battle with us in the mind. For what is in the flesh is the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eye, and the pride of life. Now, these things are not of our Creator, but is of the world, which is the prison of death, rather the prison that leads to death. And this is why we are to guard our eyes. But look at all the mess and the wickedness that we watch with our eyes on television, in the movies, the places that we go. Look at all of the wickedness that we are watching with our eyes that we're supposed to guard. And we're not guarding our eyes at all. We're looking at all the evil and wickedness. We are supposed to guard our ears, but we're not guarding our ears. We're taking ourselves to places, hearing all kinds of wickedness and lewdness, and even speaking wickedness and lewdness where we go. We're not watching where we go. We're not watching where we're taking our foot to, okay? We run to evil. We run to evil. We run to do evil. So we're not guarding our eyes from the lust of the eye, the lust of all the evil and wickedness, all of the corruption. We're not guarding our ears. We want to hear all the wickedness, all the gossip, all the evil. We want to hear that in our ears. We're not guarding our mouths. We say all kinds of wickedness and blasphemy and evil that comes out of our mouth. We ain't guarding nothing around here. All evil that is presented to us, we're lapping it up like a lapdog. Yes, we're not guarding anything. Okay. So if we're not guarding our eyes, our ears, we're not even guarding our mouth, what is happening? We are receiving spirit entities, evil spirit entities, because everything is spirit. Words are spirit. What we see is spirit. And these things are entering into us, and we're not resisting, we're not fighting against anything. We are opening ourselves up to everything. Okay, everything. We are agreeing to everything. We are conforming to everything. Well, not all of us, but we have at one time before we start obtaining the knowledge. Okay. So we have a lot to work on, and what we have a lot to work on, what we got to work on to fight against this flesh is daily. So daily, we got a job to do daily. Now, we need to fight against it. We need to fight against it, and we need to ask the Creator to help us to return to Him, that He may change our hearts and our minds, that we won't desire wickedness, so that He may return us to the land of Eden, to the land of paradise, and that we be transformed into those celestial bodies made without sinful flesh and blood. Now, there's one thing that I don't know about, and that thing is, at what time does that transformation occur? Okay, because I'm not sure what time that transformation occurs. The other thing is that I'm not sure about, and I cannot speak on, I would only be able to make an assumption about it, is that my thoughts, this is my thoughts. Now here I'm speaking on my opinion. My thoughts and my opinion assumes that either we will be returning to the land before Yeshua returns, some way, somehow. That may not be truth, and it may not be factual. It may not. But what I do know is that at some point and some way, the kingdom will be restored to us. But as I look at what is occurring in the world, I believe circumstances and situations are occurring that is going to push us or drive us to gather and to return to the land. So how actually will this take place? I don't know. So I'm only in a state of assumption. One thing I do know, that we shall return. Actually, how and when, that part I do not know. And I cannot speak on that. But I know that we shall return in a great company. Now, anyway, let me go and finish. So we need to be pushed to a point that we begin to cry out to the Most High, that we begin to turn to Him, that He may return us to our land. Now, therefore, my people, we have been delivered up. We have been delivered up into the world of Lucifer, to be tested, to go through trials and all manner of evils. Now we are on a journey of two paths. So on this planet called Earth, we are here to choose between two sides, Lucifer's side or the side of our Creator. Who are we going to follow? Who are we going to listen to? Now, when I say who are we going to follow or who are we going to listen to, we must understand that when I say who are we going to follow, When you're following Lucifer, that means that you're following his servants, okay? That means that the people who are working for him that look like us, the leaders and different things that work for him. So Lucifer, you ain't gonna see him come down with no red horns. These beings work through people. And then when they manifest themselves, they can also manifest themselves in the body of a human and take on human form, or either they can manifest themselves when someone opens themselves up to allow those entities or those spirits to take possession of the body, and then they act out and do the deeds of all of the demons, for them or whatever, but they do it willingly. Okay. Now, so anyway, there are no other sides but two, and you all have the tools. We all, because I need to include myself, that we all have the tools that we need to choose the right side. So it is up to us to understand that there are two ways of life to follow. And there are two sets of laws, statutes, and ordinances to follow. But know this, that within the Torah is life. And in the Torah is life more abundantly. And if you follow the Torah, you shall find the way to the tree of life and receive the crown of life. As of now, we are in a war, and we are at war in this evil, wicked, corrupt kingdom with these folk. And these folk got us acting a fool. And we got to learn how to turn back to the Most High. And in this evil world, we are full of deception. This world is full of deception and tricks to deceive all of us. So we have to look within for the spirit of the Creator that is in us, that it will lead and guide us into all truth if we would only listen to the spirit of the Most High within, because we have many voices in our head. The enemy is talking to us with suggestions. The Most High is talking to us with suggestions. Okay, who's going to sit on the table of our hearts? Who will be the master of our souls? It's all up to us. It is all up to us. Mm-hmm. It is up to us to understand the two ways. It is up to us to follow the road that leads to life. It is up to us to follow the laws of the Most High, his laws, his statutes, his ordinances that we should follow. Lucifer has his laws, his statutes, his ordinances that they are having us to follow because we don't know any better. You know what I'm saying? We have been pulled under Roman civil law with all its traps and snares. You know what I'm saying? To lead you into the wicked way, the corrupt way. But know this again, that within the Torah is life. And life you can have more abundantly. And if you follow the Torah, you shall find the way to the tree of life and receive the crown of life. As of now, we are in a war in this evil, corrupt kingdom, in this evil world we are in that's full of so many tricks. Okay, so many tricks and snares. So many tricks and snares. And honey, so therefore we need to depend on the spirit of the Most High that's in us that will lead and guide us again into all truth. And we must learn to listen at it when it speaks to us in our heads. Okay? So we are fighting in the evil world. Okay? We're fighting within and we're fighting without to choose the right spirits that will sit on the table of our heart. To pass the test, we must master all this sinful flesh, all the sinful desires. We must master the temptations and bring it under subjection. We must become the master over our evil souls, okay? Bringing our whole body under subjection to the obedience of our Creator. And we must always remember that we have the tools in us to overcome the world and to receive the reward and the crown of life. Whose world are we in? Be in the world, but not of it. Mm-hmm. And remember that the Most High is also going to create a new heaven and a new earth and a new world. And I can't wait till he get rid of all this wickedness and evil. And I ask that he restore our minds, that he create in us a new heart and the right spirit. He knows what's going on down here. And I look for the day when he will look down upon us and hear our cries and our petition. This is Dana Tate signing off. Remember, what kingdom is this? And remember that we must restore a kingdom of righteousness. Good night.